Well, ladies and gentlemen, some of you are getting fed up already, and it's only been less than a week and the official transfer window has been open. Keith here from Commander Hoops. If this is your first time coming across the channel, please do like and subscribe. The questions that keep getting asked to me is, when are Celtic going to get a new keeper in the door to replace Joe Hart? What's happening with Benjamin Seacrest? What's happening with all? What club is now in the hunt for Matt O'Reilly? And what's going on with Adam Idah? The same questions get thrown to me all the time. I'm just going to tell you how I honestly feel. But I do have an update regards to the midfield department, regards to Paulo Bernardo and Matt O'Reilly. So let's just kick it off straight away with Paulo Bernardo. Paulo Bernardo, Celtic are back in lock talks with Benfica, and they're targeting 4 million to get Paulo Bernardo back at Celtic Park with additional add-ons and a decent sell-on clause. That's the reports. Now, the Daily Record reported this. A lot of people don't believe what the Daily Record says, but we're going to talk about as a fan's perspective here. He's 22 years of age. He's in a long-term contract till May 27. There, you see in the bottom left-hand side of the screen. He played 15 games out of 33 games for Celtic last season. Scored 5 goals, and this is a guy that I would bring in the door. I've said it so many times that this speculation is coming to the stage where I'm actually getting frustrated. I'm frustrated talking about the same people. I'm frustrated talking about similar fears. Get the guy in the door. Celtic have the money there. Open that suitcase. Peter Lawwell, throw the cash at Benfica and get him in the door for around 5 million. 5 million quid will get Paulo Bernardo in the door. I know Benfica are trying to hold off for 6, but we will get him for around 5 million. At the end of the day, he knows what he's coming into Celtic. He's been on loan last season here, playing Champions League games, scoring in derby games, providing crucial assists. And, you know, it was his shot that Jack Butland made a hash for and Adam Idah capitalised. So let's see how this gets on with Paulo Bernardo. I'm a fan of Paulo Bernardo. I think he has a lot of quality, but the stumbling block is his wages. The report he's on about 28,000 euros a week. I'm sure he'll take a pay cut to come to Celtic because he knows that if Matt O'Reilly does go, which we're going to talk about Matt O'Reilly in a couple of seconds, he's going to be in contention to replace Matt O'Reilly in that midfield department alongside Rio Atate and Callum McGregor. So regards to Matt O'Reilly, the Sun is basically reporting that Leicester and the new club who are promoted to the Premier League are in the hunt for Matt O'Reilly because they're looking to replace Kieran Drewsby Hall that went to Chelsea. Enzo Maresca, who left Leicester, who helped Leicester get into the Premier League this coming season. He went to Chelsea and he's had to take one of the key players already. Now, you got to think about Maresca took over from Brendan Rodgers when Brendan Rodgers got the boot when Leicester obviously went down, but that's a different tale, a different story. Matt O'Reilly, look at the clubs he's been linked to. Atletico Madrid, Inter Milan, Brighton, Southampton last week, Leeds, now Leicester City, and Rome as well. We are in a great position here, folks. Look, we all don't want them to go. Some people have commented on the channel and said keep them till the new year, but clubs like this that are interested in looking, but it's still a week into the transfer window, and if the right bid comes in beyond 30 million with add-ons, take it. Just take it. So that means that we get the 30 million quid, the add-ons on top of that as well. And if he keeps the likes of Leicester in the Premier League, there will be another bonus on top of that as well. Look at what happened with Christopher Royer. We got decent bonus for that, and then a decent bonus on Ryan Christie keeping Bournemouth in the Premier League as well. So eventually he's going to go, folks. It's a matter of time, but it has to be the right money. As I said, we're in a great position with his long-term contract. So let Celtic sit back, smoke the cigar in this for the rest of the summer, and let them come in with that panic bids towards the end of the window. The transfer window closes on the 30th of August in Scottish football at 11 p.m. So let's see what happens to this. Regards to Brendan Rodgers was asked after the game at Ayr on Friday night. He did confirm that there has been interest regards to You know, that's a good sign. He was asked about Adam Idah. He kind of brushed that situation off. He said, as a player that we've been monitoring, he doesn't want to talk about other players at other clubs, but he is a big fan of Adam Idah. He said it as well at the post-match for the Scottish Cup as well when we beat Rangers. So the Adam Idah situation has not changed since Wednesday. 4 million was placed on the table. There's a lot of clickbait stories that Adam Idah is trying to push his way out of Carrow Road and get himself back up to Glasgow. It's not that easy, folks. It's not as simple as you say, oh, I quit and I go. It doesn't work like that in football. Agents are involved. There's always these third parties. So if we do get Adam Idah in, you know, it's going to be a case where I'm going to probably play 6 million. My verdict on the whole Adam Idah transfer thing is very similar to Matt O'Reilly. He'll go down towards the end of the window. He'll play his pre-season with Norwich. There'll be more speculation growing on him, and then he'll probably get unhappy, and then he'll probably hand in a transfer request towards the end of the window. Now, look at regards to his transfer request, he's in contract till 28, somewhere 28. So it's going to have to be between 5.5 million to 6 million. Celtic need to get the pocket out. If Matt O'Reilly goes, we get Paulo Bernardo in, we get Adam Idah, and they're not even touching the Champions League money. Now, the situation with the goalkeeper is the racket we were linked with. We were linked with, obviously, Peter Vineyard as well of Sparta Prague, which is meant to be number one choice that we're meant to be going for. We've been linked with a good few keepers, but there's been no activity. A lot of Celtic fans are dreading the thought of Scott Bain being as a number one against Camargue in the open day season. I'm dreading it, to be personally honest. Look, at Scott Bain's been a good servant for Celtic, but we need a bit more experience. And I'm not saying Scott Bain doesn't have experience, because he's been around the club for almost 7.5 years. I mean, more experience as in playing regular time for Celtic, playing the big high-intensity games. And we need to go out there and get a keeper. Get a keeper. We're going to be linked with so many keepers over the next few weeks. And you probably will be fed up of hearing my voice and saying this about this keeper and saying that about that keeper. But the whole situation with Benjamin Seacrest, he's not to be seen. He's still down in Australia. Look, we have a good few players to come back. Obviously, Callum's going to be coming back this week with Greg Taylor, with Jamesy and Ralston. We have Carter Vickers to come back from the Copa America because America got knocked out. Alistair Johnson's still there. Congratulations to Alistair Johnson and Canada getting into the semi-finals. They will play against Argentina again, who they played in the group. We've Liam Scales to come back in the fold, which he's been training, but he's going to be probably playing against Queen's Park. Matt O'Reilly back training as well. So there is a good few players to come back and get in the mix as well. So once we get that full spine back, and obviously Maeda and Rio Atate as well, we're forgetting about them lads. So interesting times. We'll see how this goes. As I said, at the end of the day, I understand a lot of you are getting frustrated that we haven't brought a goalkeeper in. We haven't launched the official bid for a goalkeeper, but we've looked at Adam Idah. It will take time. You got to be patient. Brendan Rodgers came out and said on Friday night he could have signed 9 players by now. But it's about getting the right player that suits the profile. At the end of the day, Hagas Banovic is gone to Malmo on a permanent. Rockavata is gone. There has been a clear out so far. And I'm sure Mikey Johnson will be one of them players next to go as well. Hopefully James McCarthy, who's the missing man, should be gone as well. You know, so let's see how this goes and it unfolds. Do subscribe to the channel. I'll speak to you all soon.